The sound of a bus splashing through a puddle was the only warning Haley Evans had before a wall of muddy water drenched her cream-colored pantsuit. She gasped, arms flying outward as the cold shock hit her system. The important portfolio she'd been carrying tumbled from her grasp, papers scattering across the wet sidewalk. "No, no, no," she muttered, dropping to her knees regardless of the puddle, frantically gathering the documents before they could be ruined. Her quarterly presentation to the board was in exactly 47 minutes, and now she looked like she'd gone swimming fully dressed. "Hey, that was completely uncalled for," a deep voice shouted at the retreating truck. Haley glanced up to see a tall man with broad shoulders stepping toward her. He was juggling both a squirming toddler in his arms and a pink backpack decorated with unicorns. Despite the little girl pulling at his collar, he managed to kneel down beside Haley without dropping either his daughter or the backpack. "Here, let me help you," he offered, setting his daughter down and gently instructing, "Lily, stand right here for a minute, okay? Daddy needs to help this lady." The little girl, perhaps 3 years old with bouncy brown curls, nodded solemnly. "The truck made a big splash," she observed. "It sure did, sweetheart." The man gave Haley an apologetic smile as he gathered papers that had blown several feet away. "I'm so sorry about this. Some drivers are just inconsiderate." Haley accepted the slightly damp papers he handed her, suddenly very aware of how disheveled she must look. "Thank you, I have a meeting soon and this is." She gestured helplessly at her soaked outfit. "Disaster," he finished for her, nodding sympathetically. "Look, my apartment is just around the corner. You could at least dry off, maybe salvage your papers." When she hesitated, he added quickly, "I promise I'm not a serial killer, just a single dad trying to teach his daughter about helping others." He extended his hand. "I'm Patrick Vasquez, and this is Lily." Lily waved shyly. "Your pretty clothes got all dirty." Despite the catastrophic timing, Haley found herself smiling. "They certainly did. I'm Haley Evans." "Nice to meet you, Haley, though I wish it had been under drier circumstances." Patrick's warm brown eyes crinkled at the corners when he smiled, and Haley noticed a dusting of freckles across his nose that gave his rugged face a boyish quality. Against her better judgment, or perhaps because she was desperate, Haley nodded. "I'd appreciate that, actually. I have." She checked her watch and winced. 43 minutes to somehow become presentable again. "Challenge accepted," Patrick said, standing up and offering his hand to pull her to her feet. "Lily and I are masters of quick fixes, aren't we, Munchkin?" Lily nodded enthusiastically. "Daddy fixes everything, even when I spilled juice all over Mr. Cuddles." Patrick led the way down the block, carrying Lily, who had started to complain about her feet being tired. Haley followed, clutching her damp portfolio and feeling increasingly anxious about the time. His apartment building was modest but well-maintained, and he apologized twice for the 3-flight walk-up. "Sorry about the mess," Patrick said as he unlocked the door. "Wasn't expecting company today." The apartment was small but cozy, with colorful children's artwork taped to the refrigerator and a corner of the living room designated as a play area. There were a few toys scattered about, but it was far from the disaster zone Patrick had implied. "Bathrooms through there," he pointed. "I can put your clothes in the dryer if you want. I might have something you could wear in the meantime." Haley hesitated, but a glance at her mud-splattered pantsuit made the decision for her. "That would be incredibly helpful, thank you." 10 minutes later, Haley emerged from the bathroom wearing an oversized Columbus Fire Department t-shirt and a pair of basketball shorts with a drawstring pulled tight around her waist. Patrick was at the kitchen table, helping Lily with what appeared to be a coloring project while simultaneously ironing Haley's blouse with surprising skill. "You're a firefighter?" Haley asked, gesturing to the shirt. Patrick nodded. "Yeah, Station 23. I'm off today. Lily's preschool had a half day." He held up her blouse. "This is almost dry. The pants are in the dryer, should be done in about 20 minutes. "I don't have 20 minutes, Haley said, trying not to sound panicked. "I have a board meeting across town in half an hour." Patrick's expression turned thoughtful. "Where exactly?" High Point Tower, downtown. Something flickered across Patrick's face, recognition, perhaps, but he simply nodded. "I can get you there." My buddy Marco owes me a favor. He drives for a car service. Before Haley could protest, Patrick was on the phone, speaking rapidly in a mix of English and Spanish. Lily approached Haley shyly, offering up a crayon drawing. "I made this for you," she said. "It's you with dry clothes." Haley took the drawing, touched by the simple gesture. The stick figure had long dark hair like hers and was wearing what appeared to be a rainbow-colored dress. "Thank you, Lily. It's beautiful." Patrick finished his call and turned to Haley with a triumphant smile. "Marco will be here in 5 minutes. He'll take you wherever you need to go." He handed her the blouse, which was remarkably well pressed. "The pants won't be dry in time, but—" He disappeared into his bedroom and returned with a garment bag. "My sister left these here last time she visited. She's about your size, I think." Inside the bag was a simple black pencil skirt. "Are you sure she won't mind? Carla lives in Boston now. She'd be happy they're being put to good use." The skirt fit surprisingly well, and while the outfit wasn't what Haley had planned to wear to present her company's quarterly earnings, it was professional enough. Patrick handed her a comb and directed her to a mirror in the hallway. "You look great," he said, his eyes lingering on her for a moment before he quickly looked away. Professional but approachable, a horn honked outside. "That's Marco," Patrick said, helping Lily into her jacket. "We'll walk you down." In the stairwell, Haley paused. "Patrick, I don't know how to thank you. You've saved me from what could have been a career disaster." Patrick smiled, shifting Lily to his other hip. "Just pay it forward someday." Haley impulsively reached into her purse and pulled out a business card. "At least let me buy you and Lily dinner sometime as a thank you." Patrick accepted the card, glancing at it briefly before tucking it into his pocket. If he recognized the name of her company, Evans Enterprises, one of the city's fastest-growing tech firms, he didn't show it. "We'd like that," he said simply. As Marco's car pulled away from the curb, Haley looked back to see Patrick and Lily waving goodbye. She waved back, surprised by the strange feeling of reluctance to leave them behind. The board meeting went better than Haley could have hoped. Despite her improvised outfit and slightly damp portfolio, her presentation was met with enthusiastic approval. The new software platform she'd been developing had exceeded revenue projections by 22%, and the board unanimously approved her proposal for expansion. "Excellent work as always, Miss Evans," said Richard Thornton, the chairman of the board. "Your father would be proud to see how you've grown this company." Haley smiled at the mention of her late father, the founder of Evans Enterprises. "Thank you, Richard. That means a lot." As the meeting adjourned, Haley found herself thinking about Patrick and Lily. She pulled out her phone, intending to send a thank you message to the number he'd given her, when she realized she still had his clothes. Smiling to herself, she composed a text. "Meeting went well. Still have your clothes hostage. When can I return them and make good on that dinner offer?" Patrick's response came almost immediately. "Glad to hear it. Lily and I are free tomorrow evening if that works for you." Haley checked her calendar. She had a dinner scheduled with potential investors, but something made her send a quick email to her assistant to reschedule it. "Tomorrow works perfectly. Where should I meet you?" They arranged to meet at a family-friendly restaurant near the park at 6. Haley spent the rest of her day in meetings, but found her thoughts repeatedly drifting to Patrick's kind eyes and Lily's sweet smile. The next evening, Haley arrived at the restaurant 15 minutes early, a bag containing Patrick's freshly laundered clothes in hand. She'd changed from her work clothes into jeans and a soft blue sweater, not wanting to appear too formal. She spotted them immediately. Patrick was helping Lily out of a somewhat battered SUV parked across the street. Lily was wearing a purple dress with bright yellow tights, her curls tamed into pigtails. Patrick had traded his casual clothes from yesterday for a button-down shirt and dark jeans. Even from a distance, Haley could see he'd made an effort. "Haley," Lily called out, breaking free from her father's hand and running toward her, stopping just short of a hug, suddenly shy. "Hi, Lily," Haley smiled, crouching down to the little girl's level. "I love your dress." "Purple is my favorite color too," Lily beamed. "Daddy said we're having a special dinner because you're our friend now." Patrick caught up, looking slightly embarrassed. "Kids and their honesty, right?" He ran a hand through his dark hair, which Haley noticed was still damp from a shower. You look nice, he added, a hint of color rising in his cheeks. So do you, Haley replied, feeling suddenly nervous, like a teenager on a first date rather than a 32-year-old CEO thanking a good Samaritan. I brought your clothes back. Thank you again for the rescue. Over dinner, Haley learned that Patrick had been a firefighter for 8 years, that Lily's mother had left when she was just 6 months old. Her loss, Patrick said simply, and that they had moved to Columbus from Chicago 2 years ago for a fresh start. What about you? Patrick asked as Lily concentrated on coloring the children's menu. What kind of work do you do that involves board meetings at High Point Tower? Haley hesitated. In her experience, revealing her position too early often changed how people treated her. I work in tech, she said vaguely. Software development. Patrick nodded, seeming genuinely interested. That must be fascinating. I'm practically a dinosaur with technology, just ask my crew. They're always making fun of my ancient phone. As if on cue, his phone buzzed. Patrick checked it and frowned. I'm sorry, it's the station. Do you mind if I take this? While Patrick stepped away to take the call, Lily looked up at Haley with serious eyes. Do you know how to draw a unicorn? I'm trying to make one, but it doesn't look right. Haley smiled, taking the crayon Lily offered. I used to draw unicorns all the time when I was your age. Let me show you a trick. By the time Patrick returned, Haley and Lily were deep in conversation about the proper coloring technique for rainbow manes. Patrick watched them for a moment, a soft expression on his face before clearing his throat. Everything okay? Haley asked, noticing his slightly tense posture. There's a situation at work. One of the guys called in sick and they're shorthanded for tomorrow's shift. He ran a hand through his hair, a gesture Haley was beginning to recognize as a sign of stress. I was supposed to have the day off, but they need me to come in. But Daddy, Lily's bottom lip trembled, tomorrow is bring your parent to school day, you promised. Patrick knelt beside Lily's chair. I know, Munchkin. I'm so sorry. I tried to find someone else, but everyone's already working doubles this week. Haley watched the interaction, seeing the genuine distress on Patrick's face. Being a single parent was hard enough without the added pressure of shift work. Before she could think better of it, she heard herself say, "What time is the school thing?" Patrick looked up, surprised. 9 to 11. Why? I could take her, Haley offered, then immediately wondered if she'd overstepped. I mean, if you're comfortable with that. I have a flexible schedule tomorrow. The hope that bloomed on Lily's face was matched by the astonishment on Patrick's. That's really generous, but I couldn't ask you to do that. We barely know each other. You took in a complete stranger yesterday and saved me from a professional disaster, Haley pointed out. I'd say that establishes a certain level of trust. Patrick still looked uncertain. It's a big ask. I saved you a seat next to me, Lily said quietly, looking down at her drawing. Miss Thompson said we could have someone special come. Haley felt something tug at her heart. I would be honored to be your someone special, Lily. If your dad says it's okay. Patrick looked between them, clearly torn. You really wouldn't mind, not at all. What's the point of being your own boss if you can't rearrange your schedule once in a while? The words slipped out before Haley could stop them. Patrick's eyebrows rose slightly. Your own boss, huh? There's more to your job than you let on, isn't there? Haley shrugged, trying to appear casual. Maybe a little, but the offer stands. I'd be happy to take Lily to school tomorrow. After some discussion, they exchanged details and made arrangements. Patrick would drop Lily off at Haley's apartment in the morning before his shift, and Haley would take her to school and then to the fire station afterward. As they were leaving the restaurant, Lily ran ahead to look at the dessert display, giving the adults a moment alone. Thank you for this, Patrick said quietly. It means a lot to her and to me. It's my pleasure, truly, Haley replied. She's a wonderful little girl. She is, Patrick agreed, his gaze lingering on Haley's face. Listen, I was wondering if maybe after my shift tomorrow we could, Daddy, look. They have chocolate cake with sprinkles inside, Lily called, pressing her nose against the glass. Patrick laughed. We'll continue this conversation tomorrow, he said to Haley. His eyes conveying what his interrupted words hadn't been able to. Haley nodded, surprised by how much she was looking forward to it. The next morning, Haley woke up earlier than usual, feeling a strange mixture of excitement and nervousness. She'd rescheduled her morning meetings and cleared her calendar until noon. Her apartment, usually pristine but impersonal, suddenly seemed too sterile for a visit from a 3-year-old. She found herself wishing she had some children's books or toys on hand. The doorbell rang precisely at 7:30. Haley opened the door to find Patrick in his firefighter uniform, looking both professional and undeniably attractive, with Lily beside him clutching a pink backpack and a stuffed unicorn. "Good morning," Haley greeted them warmly. "Come on in." Lily's eyes widened as she took in Haley's penthouse apartment with its floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. "Wow, you live in the sky." Patrick's expression mirrored his daughter's, though he tried to hide his surprise. "Nice place," he said, his eyes scanning the modern furnishings and expensive art. "Really nice." Haley felt suddenly self-conscious about her home. "It came with the job," she said lightly, though that wasn't entirely true. She'd worked hard for everything she had. Patrick nodded, but she could see the questions forming behind his eyes. He checked his watch. "I should get going. My shift starts at 8. He knelt down to Lily's level. "Be good for Miss Haley, okay? I'll see you at the station later." Lily threw her arms around his neck. "Love you, Daddy." "Love you too, Munchkin." He stood, turning to Haley. "Thank you again for doing this. Her teacher's name is Miss Thompson, and all the information you need should be in her backpack. Oh, and she's allergic to strawberries, but it's mild, just causes a rash. Got it. No strawberries." Haley nodded, taking mental notes. "We'll be fine, Patrick. Go save lives." He smiled gratefully, then hesitated at the door. "One more thing. After you drop her at the station, would you? I mean, if you're not busy. Would you want to grab coffee or something?" Haley felt a flutter in her chest. "I'd like that." After Patrick left, Haley turned to Lily with a bright smile. "So, what should we do before school? Are you hungry? I could make pancakes." Lily's face lit up. "With chocolate chips." "Is there any other way to make pancakes?" Haley laughed, leading the way to her kitchen. By the time they left for school, Haley had learned that Lily's favorite color changed daily. Today it was yellow, that she could count to 20 without mistakes, and that she wanted to be either a firefighter like her daddy or a unicorn trainer when she grew up. Bring Your Parent to School Day turned out to be more fun than Haley had anticipated. Miss Thompson had the parents introduce themselves and share what they did for work. When it was Haley's turn, she kept it simple. "I'm Haley, and I'm here with Lily today. I work with computers and help make apps that people use on their phones." One of the other parents, a man in an expensive suit, did a double take. "Wait, are you Haley Evans, from Evans Enterprises?" Haley nodded, slightly uncomfortable with the attention. "Yes, that's me." The man looked impressed. "Your new ClearPath software is revolutionizing the industry. I've been following your company's growth for years." "Thank you," Haley said politely, before turning her attention back to Lily, who was beaming with pride at having brought someone who impressed the other grown-ups. After the school event, Haley took Lily for ice cream before heading to the fire station. Lily chatted animatedly about her friends and how much fun it had been to have Haley there. "Daddy says you're really pretty," Lily announced as they walked toward the station, her small hand trustingly in Haley's. Haley felt heat rise to her cheeks. "He did he?" Lily nodded solemnly. "He told Uncle Marco on the phone. He said you have pretty eyes and a nice smile." "Well, that was very kind of him," Haley said, wondering what else Patrick might have said about her. The fire station was bustling with activity when they arrived. Lily immediately spotted her father, who was helping wash one of the trucks. "Daddy," she called, breaking free from Haley's hand and running toward him. Patrick's face broke into a wide smile as he caught Lily in a hug, lifting her off the ground. "There's my girl. How was school?" "So fun." Haley told everyone about making apps, and Mr. Jenkins said she was Revo. Revo something the industry. Patrick's eyes met Haley's over Lily's head, a question in them. Haley shrugged slightly, offering a small smile. After Lily had been thoroughly introduced to everyone at the station and shown all the equipment twice, Patrick took a break to walk Haley to her car. "So," he said, hands in his pockets, "apps that revolutionize the industry, huh?" Haley tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. "I might have downplayed my job a little." "A little," Patrick raised an eyebrow. Haley, I Googled you last night after I saw your business card. You're the CEO of Evans Enterprises. You were on the cover of Business Weekly last month. Haley winced. I'm sorry I wasn't completely forthcoming. It's just, people tend to treat me differently when they know. Patrick was quiet for a moment. I get it. I mean, I don't have experience with being a tech mogul, but I understand wanting to be seen for who you are, not what you do or what you have. Haley felt a wave of relief. Exactly. And for what it's worth, I really enjoyed spending time with Lily today. She's an amazing kid. She is, Patrick agreed, his expression softening. And she adores you already. She wouldn't stop talking about you this morning. The feeling is mutual. Haley hesitated, then added, so about that coffee. Patrick checked his watch. I'm off in 2 hours, but I'll need to pick up Lily from my sister-in-law's place after. I have a better idea, Haley said. Why don't you both come over for dinner tonight? I make a mean spaghetti and meatballs. Patrick's eyes lit up. That sounds perfect, but only if you let me bring dessert. Deal. Haley found herself looking forward to the evening more than she had any business dinner or social event in recent memory. Dinner that evening was filled with laughter and easy conversation. Lily insisted on helping make the garlic bread, standing on a chair beside Haley at the counter. Patrick watched them with a soft expression that made Haley's heart beat a little faster every time she caught him looking. After they put Lily to bed in Haley's guest room, she'd fallen asleep watching a movie. Patrick and Haley found themselves alone on her balcony, sharing a bottle of wine under the stars. I keep thinking about how we met, Patrick said, swirling the wine in his glass. If that truck hadn't splashed you, we never would have crossed paths. The universe works in mysterious ways, Haley agreed, though I could have done without the muddy pantsuit. Patrick laughed, then turned serious. Haley, I need to be honest about something. When I saw your business card, I was intimidated. You're this successful, brilliant CEO, and I'm just a firefighter trying to make ends meet for my daughter. Haley set down her glass. Patrick, there's no just about what you do, you save lives. You're raising an incredible little girl on your own. That's far more impressive than anything I've accomplished. You built a tech empire from the ground up, he pointed out. My father built it, she corrected. I just took over and expanded it. That's not what the Business Weekly article said. It said you transformed a struggling family business into a cutting-edge tech leader. He smiled at her surprise. I did my homework. Haley felt a warmth that had nothing to do with the wine. The point is, I don't care about status or bank accounts. What matters to me is character. And you, Patrick Vasquez, have shown more character in the past 2 days than most people I know have shown in years. Patrick held her gaze, then slowly reached across the table to take her hand. In that case, would it be completely inappropriate for me to tell you that I haven't been able to stop thinking about you since the moment you walked out of my bathroom wearing my Columbus FD shirt? Haley felt her heart rate quicken. Not inappropriate at all. In fact, I'd be disappointed if you didn't. Good, he murmured, leaning closer, because I've been wanting to do this since yesterday. His lips met hers in a gentle kiss that quickly deepened. Haley felt herself melting into his touch, her hand coming up to rest against his chest, feeling his heart beating as rapidly as her own. When they finally broke apart, both slightly breathless, Patrick rested his forehead against hers. I should probably mention that I don't make a habit of kissing women I've just met. Neither do I, Haley whispered, making him laugh. But I'm glad we're making an exception. Over the next few weeks, Haley found herself seamlessly integrating into Patrick and Lily's lives. She adjusted her work schedule to be available for dinner on Patrick's days off. Patrick installed child safety locks in her apartment without being asked, a gesture that touched her deeply. 1 month after the day the truck had splashed her, Haley was working late in her office when her assistant knocked on the door. There's someone here to see you, Miss Evans. He says it's important. Before Haley could respond, the door pushed open wider, and Lily burst in, followed by a slightly frazzled-looking Patrick carrying a picnic basket. Surprise, Lily announced, running to Haley's desk. We brought dinner to you because Daddy said you were working too hard. Haley looked up at Patrick, who shrugged apologetically. I tried to call, but your phone went to voicemail. Lily was very insistent that we rescue you from boring work stuff. Haley felt a lump form in her throat at the thoughtfulness of the gesture. She came around her desk and knelt to give Lily a hug, then stood to kiss Patrick softly. "This is exactly what I needed," she said honestly. "How did you get past security?" Patrick grinned. "I might have mentioned that I'm dating the boss." They spread the picnic blanket on the floor of her office, and as they ate the simple meal Patrick had prepared, Haley realized with sudden clarity that she was falling in love with this man and his daughter. 2 months later, as summer turned to fall, Patrick invited Haley to a special dinner at his apartment. He'd arranged for Lily to stay with his brother for the night, and he'd clearly gone all out. The table was set with candles, and the apartment smelled of the lasagna he knew was her favorite. "What's the occasion?" Haley asked as he poured her a glass of wine. Patrick took a deep breath. "It's been exactly 3 months since a truck splashed you outside my apartment building." Haley smiled, touched that he'd remembered. "Best mud puddle of my life." Patrick laughed, but she could sense his nervousness. "Haley, these past 3 months have been the happiest I can remember. Lily adores you. He paused, taking her hand across the table. "I love you." Haley felt her heart swell. "I love you too, Patrick, both of you." Relief and joy spread across his face. "I know it might seem fast, but when you know, and I know that I want to build a life with you." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. "I'm not asking you to marry me, not yet, but I am asking you to consider a future together." Inside the box was a delicate silver promise ring with a small sapphire that matched her eyes. "It's beautiful," she whispered, tears forming. "I can't offer you wealth or luxury," Patrick said softly, "but I can promise to love you every day for the rest of my life." Haley slipped the ring onto her finger, then came around the table to kiss him deeply. "That's the only luxury I need." 1 year later, Haley stood in the back of a small church, her father's wedding ring pinned inside her dress for something old. She peered through the doors to see Patrick waiting at the altar, handsome in his dress uniform, with Lily beside him as their flower girl, bouncing excitedly in her lavender dress. As the music began and Haley started her walk down the aisle, she reflected on how a simple act of kindness after a truck splashed her had changed the course of her life forever. Patrick's eyes locked with hers, filled with love and promise, and Haley knew with absolute certainty that this was exactly where she was meant to be. Their wedding reception was held at a local park, simple but elegant, with Patrick's firefighter colleagues and Haley's business associates mingling comfortably. As they shared their first dance, Patrick pulled her close and whispered, "Have I told you today how happy you make me?" "You might have mentioned it," Haley teased, resting her head on his shoulder, "but I never get tired of hearing it." Later, as the sun began to set, they found a quiet moment away from the celebration. Lily had fallen asleep on her uncle's lap, exhausted from dancing and excitement. "So, Mrs. Vasquez," Patrick said, wrapping his arms around Haley's waist. "Any regrets about marrying a firefighter instead of some tech billionaire?" Haley pretended to consider the question. "Well, the tech billionaire probably wouldn't have known how to get mud stains out of a cream pantsuit, so I think I made the right choice." Patrick laughed, pulling her closer. "I thank that truck driver every day in my prayers." "I was thinking," Haley said, tracing patterns on his chest with her finger, "maybe we should start looking for a house, something with a yard for Lily and maybe." She hesitated, then continued, "Maybe a nursery for the future." Patrick's eyes widened. "Are you saying what I think you're saying?" Haley nodded, a smile spreading across her face. "I'm not pregnant yet, but I'd like to be, if you're ready for that." The joy that lit up Patrick's face was answer enough, but he spun her around anyway, peppering her face with kisses until she was laughing breathlessly. "I love you, Haley Vasquez," he said when he finally set her down. "Mud puddles and all." "I love you too," she replied, standing on tiptoe to kiss him as the first stars appeared in the evening sky. "Always."